operate in love, we take action.
Because if I can do it, I promise you any of you can do it. There's no question about that.
If you want your present to be better, your future has to be bigger. What's up, Honey Badger Nation? And John Kitchens here. Got Mr. Jay Kinder, the Gringo Rican, coming to us hot and live from Puerto Rico. What's up, cuz?
What's up? What's up? How's it going, man? We got a big day coming up, big week coming up. We got a big event here in Puerto Rico. We got Glenn Sanford and company coming into town. Curtis Johnson will be here shortly. I mean, we got all the big dogs are coming in.
Cujo.
Yep.
And we are, as you guys notice, a man down today. Albie is tying up some loose ends because he is heading your way as well.
That's right. That is correct. And luckily, I got my second bout of COVID out of the way, so we're good to go with that. Ready for the next round of the variations to the virus. So
did you get
also known as the common cold? Yeah, the same. Of course, the meds that they don't tell you to get. That's the ones I used.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's we went through it. It was like the common cold. If you haven't had Omicron yet, it's like the common cold, a little bit worse throat, sore throat for a few days. But if you follow the right process, it does not much to deal with. So
not much to deal with at all.
Yeah, and it depends. I do get it. Some people it does different people deal with it. Seems like differently, but for the most part, yeah, it was an easy ride.
Man, how did it hit your head hard?
No, man, no headache for me. Yeah, so at first I thought I was just asymptomatic. I tested positive. Kids all tested positive, and none of us really had any symptoms. And then kids did get a little bit of a fever for one day, and then that subsided, and they had a cough the whole time. They had a cough the whole time and a little bit of congestion, but nothing too terrible. But I didn't have the headaches. So a lot of people out here have pretty bad headaches with it.
It was real bad for me. I couldn't even keep my eyes open. I couldn't move. It was tears. Yeah. Man, my eyes were watering. It hurt so bad. I've never had a migraine that I'm aware of, but I can only imagine that had to be something close.
Yeah. That sounds painful. Not fun. Yeah.
No good.
Ready for all that shit to be gone. Let's go.
So,
back to normal.
You got the who's who, the heavyweights coming to EXP Island. Anything that you can kind of share, kind of what's going on there, and anything that might pertain to our agent attraction strategies moving forward?
Yeah. So, I know part of the agenda. I do know part of the. I think I do. I know most of the agenda actually, but the things that I could share before they're shared publicly, and there's a couple things that might not get shared just yet too. But there's a tremendous opportunity on the forefront, I think, as it relates to ancillary services. And if you understand our business model, 50% of all adjusted gross commission income is shared with the agents through the revenue share program, and this 50% of all revenue from ancillary services is going to go towards that same revenue share bucket, that same 50%. And so, that's dollars that helps the company in terms of the stock, and dollars that helps the revenue share program, be a bigger percentage of what it could possibly be in terms of those payouts. So there's several really exciting things I know of. One thing that's working really well for the company is transaction management. If you haven't seen that, the capture rate has been really high in the markets they started with. But if you think about it, one of the especially even as a newer agent, transaction management is it's one of those things that if you can get it off your plate soon, it's valuable to get that time back for managing the transaction throughout the close and the communication and all the pieces that have to happen. And so that's a revenue stream center for the company now, and it's been growing pretty rapidly, and it's been getting a high adoption rate. I think that also helps when you think of mortgage and capture rates on mortgage, the ability to use it, systemize, making sure the opportunity for us to save the money on their mortgage being done at the company level, as long as the agent approves. I think you don't want to force the agent to allow that to happen, but you definitely want to have a good system for that, which, all of us should want to use our own mortgage and title and all of those types of ancillary services, because it's going to benefit the stock and ultimately the revenue share program as well. So like, it's kind of, there's a lot of opportunity there. This is a big part of kind of what the focus is, just because of the amount of revenue. When you look at how fast this company has grown, and we're at 70,000. The next thing I look up is 72,000. Now, we'll look up and it'll be 120,000 in 2 years. We'll be approaching maybe 180,000 agents, number one company in the world. And so when you think about the numbers and growth, and then you think about the company's valuation and where it might end up, I mean, it's the numbers of agents we're going to add in the next 2 years is substantial, and we have no capture rate on the largest revenue streams. And I was going to look this up, and I will before I go to this event, because I listened to the earnings calls from Remax, and I know Realogy's is something similar, but the numbers, a lot of these companies' numbers, their margin is all in the mortgage. Like, they're making more. I think Remax's focus is around mortgage more so than it is the real estate side. And so, so there's so much potential revenue that that a company could bring in from ancillary services. Yeah. You just you have to build that, and right now we've been building we've been building it. They're just trying to keep it between the ditches as fast as we're all helping grow the company. It's a huge opportunity. So I think that's a lot of the agenda is going to be around those opportunities, and kind of what the plan is with that, and how we can all be involved and help it move forward. And
go ahead, Cuss.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's pretty much it. That's all. That's a lot of the agenda. It's not all the agenda. There is an announcement, I think, that got pushed due to some unforeseen circumstances. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. And anytime you have the entire upper brass of EXP coming to visit is going to be good. Yeah,
I got a couple things I want you to unpack, because I have to remind myself, and I have to remind other agents, that 97 to 98% of the real estate agents out there can't think beyond their next commission check. Mm-hmm. So you're only talking about a small percentage of people that even remotely get what you just said.
True.
And so unpack ancillary services. What does that mean? That's the first part of the question. And then I've got a follow up to that, but I would love for you to just kind of unpack that for everybody listening in.
Yeah. So, it's what are all the revenue centers of, we're whatever, 3 billion, where depending on what the stock is trading at, $3 billion company, whatever. And so, we're huge. We're an enormous company, and we're the majority of this company is owned by us as agents, the staff in the company, and the founders that created the company. And so we're an anomaly in the industry. And so most of these other companies are investor owned, and big institutional investors have the majority of the stock. That's not the case with us. And so, we are the beneficiaries of what we're building here. And so that's a pretty cool thing. And so you don't need to necessarily know a whole lot to know other than, hey, hang on to the stock and, don't touch it. and as this thing continues to grow, there's, this may be worth something someday. That's the hope. Right. And so, we get excited when we see the stock go really high, and then, you want to sell and go buy something. But, I'm telling you, man, I don't believe that's the right move. I believe you want to hang on to it. And so what ancillary services is it's all of the different revenue streams that are attached to typically to a mortgage, to a real estate company that you could capitalize on when you have 100,000, 200,000, 1 million agents that are a part of your company. And so in trying to, there's several things that we can, you can tap into, and it's solving problems at the highest level. Is everybody that needs to buy a house, not everybody, but most people that need to buy a house need a mortgage. Most people that are going to sell a house are going to need title work, and they're going to, have to close at a title company. And most people that are going to buy or sell a house have insurance, are going to need insurance. Most people that have, that most real estate agents that get in the business are going to need some level of coaching and training, which we provide a lot of that. But coaching was $100 million revenue center for Keller Williams, $100 million a year. And so, that's an opportunity. Right. It's a revenue stream. It's an opportunity for us to tap into solving a problem that agents have, and for those that are willing to pay for that level of coaching through Success Coaching. So that's, those are, these are all things that, that are add-on revenue streams to the core business of serving agents. And so when you look at, how do we, implement those, and you look at all of these different ones that we have that, that are, again, the transaction services, that's another one. Agents need help. They hire transaction coordinators outside of EXP. Why would EXP not want to get in that business and do the same thing and provide the transaction coordination for agents rather than you have to find your own transaction coordinator, right? So there's a number of them, and there's probably 6 or 8 of them that are either in process or kind of, are being moved forward in a fashion that should result in, us starting to gain some market share within our agent base and turn that into some significant revenue that again, that is not happening right now. So, all the money that we're making and all our valuation is based on now, we don't have any of these really dialed in. They're still very small, but the upside potential is tremendous. And if you look at what other companies do, if we do the same thing they do, that's going to be a lot of revenue for the company. And so, it's an exciting piece of the model that, for some folks, maybe it's not that interesting, but it certainly is, as a stockholder, something for us to be aware of and understand the benefits of and get behind and support, because like I said, 50% of that, all ancillary service revenue, the profits of it goes into the revenue share program. So, and that's a gift. I mean, Glenn gave that to us. Like, that's not something that's part of the model. I mean, he gave that as just us benefiting from that as a part of the business model. The revenue share, sustainable revenue share program, is a way to offset any difference there is in the money's being paid out in revenue share. So that's he didn't have to give us that, but he did. And so it's cool. It's very awesome to have a founder that's, taking care of people. And so we're excited to hear their plan and excited to get behind it.
What's you and I've talked about this, probably we've probably streamed it. There's probably content recorded of it. I know we've talked off camera about it, in that, the competitors out there, the one thing that they don't have is that they don't have leadership that has a vision. And so many people are jumping on board because they think it's an opportunity, but yet they don't look at the long-term strategy, and they don't look at the leadership that's in place, and they don't pay attention to the vision. And, you and I are so, it's all about the vision. It's all getting clear, because we know most agents come to us lost, confused, and insecure. And our job is to get them clear, get them a plan, and help them build confidence. And, you and I, we've joked about it. We had the opportunity right from jump to sit right across from Glenn and Jason and hear the vision. And this is what you guys want to look for. You want to look for a visionary leader. And Glenn told us that day, he said, selling real estate at EXP will be like books to Amazon. And I remember sitting in shareholders in Orlando less than 2 years later, texting you. And I was like, this mofo executing on this vision, like I ain't ever seen. And, the numbers that you just shared, meaning we will be the #1 real estate company in the world in less than 15 years. Why don't y'all let that sink in for a second? 15 years becoming the #1 real estate company on the planet.
Right. And really doing it within about a 5-year period from, that's the crazy thing is, the first 10 years, it really didn't grow that much. And, you're talking about adding, let's say it's 200,000 agents in the next we hit 200,000 agents in the next 3 years, let's say. Yeah. I mean, that's insane. It's absolutely insane. And you mentioned something. I get this a lot, and lately I've been getting this a lot with this company called Real. So if you've been hearing about this company Real, and some of the stuff they're putting out, it's just misleading. And, the first thing starts with what you said, John. It starts with the vision, and really, if you understand stock and how investment in companies go, and the challenges, it took 10 years for us to build this company. I say us, I wasn't here for that period. I feel like it's our company, but and I'm grateful for the work that came before us, because I know how hard it was. But it's difficult to be profitable and turn a profit when you're trying to grow something aggressively. We did it without raising capital and without taking institutional money. That will be a biography that's done someday. Like, it's an unheard of to scale and grow as fast as we have without burning through cash and having to raise capital. Most companies that go public raise money for the purpose of raising capital. That's not what we did. We raised money for the purpose of giving away ownership to the agents. That is not what Real does. Okay, that is not the same. Okay, so it's a completely different animal, and the ownership is not owned by the agents. The decision making in that company will not be made by the agents, the owners, and the people that help grow that company. Those decisions are ultimately going to be made as they continue to have to raise more money, because they can't grow and make any money with a $12,000 cap. Yes. Do they have a $12,000 cap instead of a $16,000 cap? Yes, they do. Is it less money to be there at the surface level? Okay. It's a little bit of money difference there. But
that's the one transaction cost.
Yeah. It's not even the reality is that they're, and I hate to say this because this is what people said about us, but we already did this and barely made it through that whole time period. It's probably not sustainable. Like they're not going to be able to be profitable, and they're going to have to continue to raise money, and that's going to continue to put pressure on the stock. And so, all of that looks like the same exact opportunity, only better. It's just not. It's just not the same thing. And at the end of the day, you don't have the right people. You don't have the leaders. You don't have the best. The best of the best. You're getting all the scraps from us that we're getting rid of. That's who's running that company and leading that company. It's not. It's not the. It's not the best of the best over there. So, there might be some people, that think that, they're thinking that's the best deal. And I'll tell you the number one reason why I just don't think it's going to work is they have a rule in Reels, rules is there's nobody that's allowed to add any value whatsoever, coaching, training, any additional value to any agent that joins the company. You're not allowed to do that. So it's mind blowing to me that that's their business model, but they think that that's a downside to our business model, that we add value and we offer to do things to add value to our entire groups. Right. So, there's no reason for anyone like us to join Real, because if we can't add value to our network of people that joined us, why would we join? Why would we want to be a part of that?
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, dude. I'm telling you. And it's written in their contract. You can see it in their contract that you can't do that. It's just insane. And so that is just a limitation that, that doesn't make any sense, number one. And number two, you're not going to ever have any influencers that want to be a part of it, because you're not able to leverage what you do to help build your business within their business model. And so it's just, we're going to have competition. We knew that, that's always the case, but, don't make the mistake. If you've got somebody that's looking at it, they need to know, they need to understand the truth behind what they're signing up for. It's just not the same. It's not the same opportunity. And there's only 5 levels of revenue share, by the way. Let me make another point. This is the last one I'll make. But my level 7 revenue share is worth more than Real's entire model. So like if I put all my numbers into Real's model and on 5 levels, I make more money on my 1 level, my 7th level, than I do on all of Reels. And so, the significance of the compounding on levels, 6 and 7 are huge. For those that are influencers, you would be crazy not. I mean, if you don't do that math, then you just don't understand you don't understand at all what you're doing. And so, influencers should never join. And without influencers, I think that that really dampens the opportunity for them to ever catch on and grow. Who's going to join? Just a bunch of new agents?
What's frustrating is that people, don't understand model, right? They don't understand business model, and most real estate agents are just ignorant, and they just because they haven't taken the time to understand business, the low barrier of entry to getting in, they have some independence. And however, when you look at model is this simple, how do I create, deliver, and capture value? And so you look at EXP, and they're like, well, we're not going to carry the burden of being responsible to create, deliver, and capture all the value. We're going to create an opportunity and a financial incentive to attract influencers that are going to help us create additional value.
Yeah.
And that's why you see accelerated growth. And that's why you see, the model doesn't work if agents aren't productive. And remember, you can be busy at Real, but productive is getting results. And so when you have influencers coming in that are trying to provide additional value, there's a financial incentive for them to do that. However, I think the lagging effect of that is that you have more productive agents. You're creating better agents. And so to me, that's what's going to be the difference between us and any other company, is that we have influencers that are trying to add additional value. Are they going to capture more value on the backside? Sure. But it's making the agents better, which is better for the end consumer, our buyers and sellers that are out there in the trenches. And it's what we've always stood for from an expert advisor standpoint. A couple things that you had said. One was the sustainability. And this goes back to vision. And the first component of vision is our core values, and really what's at our core. And if you guys don't understand this, and this is the question, right? Show me Real's core values. What are they? Show me Remax's core values. You know what? One of the core values at EXP is sustainability. And core values are the decision-making filters that we make in that we make in how we behave, how we make decisions, how we behave. And so when you have a core value of sustainability, that's how we behave. That's the decisions we make. So you look at the decisions Glenn and leadership have made over the years, it's making sure that it's an alignment to who they are, which is, are we doing this to stay sustainable? And I think that's an important thing to get. If you understand that and you understand the importance of values, you're like, got it, that makes sense. The other thing before I want to put I have a kind of a follow-up on the ancillary services, but you had mentioned just a handful of those services, and working with Jay Abraham, we identified 80 plus, and I think that list is up over 100 people that the door is open to their business because of us acquiring clients.
Right.
And typically most agents just hand those over. Now, here's my question on the ancillary side of things, and kind of what your thought is. And by the way, you made one more thing before I jump on the ancillary thing. You said, hey, most of the growth is going to happen in the last 5. We didn't do much in the first 10. And I just believe anything worth building takes 10 years plus.
100%.
And, people are like, well, Jay, you have over 10,000 people in your downline and organization. And I go, yeah, but that mofo, that was a 20 years. That was a 20-year overnight success.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was like, y'all got to remember, Cuz got licensed in 97, and he poured into the real estate industry for 20 years of making deposits into the industry. Guess what he decided to do one day? Make a withdrawal. That's it. Years of deposits. He decided it was, hey, maybe I should make a withdrawal right now. Yeah. And so it's like, y'all get out of here with that. So here's the thing. I want your feedback on this. So I get it. Ancillary services, and we talk about, 97 to 98% of real estate agents can't think beyond their next commission check. That ancillary service is not even in their mind. Right. They've heard it, but they don't know how to execute on it. They know how to take advantage of it.
Right.
So that means that we've got 2 to 3% of the influencers out there that have a business model that opens doors to those ancillary services.
Right.
However, we know 2 to 3% of those agents are doing 70, 80% of the total transactions. So how do you talk to an influencer of that level, a Cujo, a Dan Beer, a Kyle Whistle, a Veronica Figueroa, that have all of these joint venture ancillary services agreements to where they've got mailbox money coming in to buy into this concept of the ancillary services at EXP. So I'm just
great question. Yeah, dude, it's a great question, right? So like, this was a lot of this is part of me getting educated too. And so, because I had some of my doubts, right? And so, I know that it wouldn't matter to me, if I, at the production level that we were at, I've got relationship and I've got partnership. I've got additional revenue streams I'm earning on all of these as a top 1%er in the company. And all of those that's going to be the case. I don't think that's where you start. I just don't think that. Now, if you can create that same kind of relationship and opportunity for all involved, then that would be great. I don't know how you do that or if that's possible or what that would look like necessarily, but I don't think that's necessarily a target. And I don't know the exact numbers, but your top 1% of producers are also they're not doing the lion's share of the transactions. It's the 72,000 agents that are the top producers don't have as much volume as the 70,000 agents that did two deals, right? So that's where all the masses are. And so if you put in systems in place where you introduce especially new agents, we all have new agents that get in the business, and agents that maybe don't have those relationships when they first get in. My first lender that I used was the one that came to my first office meeting, Gary Howell. I'll never forget it. He taught me some shit about mortgages, and I was like, well, I like this guy. I'm gonna use him. So there's an entry point in every agent's career where Success Mortgage can be a part of that, as a part of the infrastructure of being onboarded and successfully brought into EXP as an agent. Some of them are not going to be successful and get out of the business. Some of them are going to be successful, and they may use that lender for a long period of time or forever. And so there's systems that can be built to, those meetings were valuable for me, right? Like those Tuesday meetings, I was looking forward to who's the speaker today. All right, well, I'm going to learn something about FHA loans that I probably didn't know as a new agent. And so those are opportunities where we can insert, the old way was, the physical Tuesday office meeting. The new way is digitally and, group meeting that we have in the cloud or whatever it is, where those relationships can be formed. People meet those people that help them, that, they used to create, like loan, scenarios and stuff like that for open houses and all this kind of stuff. Those are the same types of things that can happen now. It's just done digitally. And that's an opportunity, because such a huge number of agents are new every year. There's always going to be that subset of the market. So the idea of getting a 10% capture rate, which kind of sounds like a lot when you think about all of us who would not be interested in really even using that mortgage or title. And I don't think EXP has that expectation that all the top people are going to use it. I don't think I'm sure they would love for that to work out and to be alignment. But it's going to have to fit financially, and that's probably not the lowest hanging fruit right out of the gate. And so, sure. My guess is that's not going to be what they're going to be coming there telling us this week. But yeah, there's still such an open opportunity for, again, you said it a minute ago. It's the creating and adding of value to the agent network. How do you help agents with understanding loan programs? Helping them and their clients with getting loans, getting them the best possible deal. And that's where the focus, I think, of this has to be if it's going to be successful. And, then you're talking about capture rates of 10% are not ridiculous. 20% is considered really good. 10% is considered okay. 5% is not very good at all. And so, right now we're not even on the grid, right? We haven't even started. So, there's just a tremendous, opportunity, and I think that's going to be the right strategy.
I love it, man. Yeah, and it's definitely going after where the masses and the bulk is. So that's really key. A couple things as we kind of wrap up here on today's episode is, man, this has really been about educating yourself and getting real clear on really what the model really is. And I'll never forget the Mary Murphy story. And whereas she had this belief of what the model was, mm-hmm. like a lot of agents, mm-hmm. they either hear it from somebody they trust, or they hear it from their broker who they should trust. And so they have this false belief because they haven't taken the time to educate themselves on really what the model is. And this is great for all of you guys listening in. Jay just simply said to Mary, after you had kind of enough of listening to her, go, tell me what the model is then. The model, explain it to me. And she couldn't. And so that's where you've got to get really educated. You got to get to the truth. What is true?
Yep.
And so if you guys take anything away from today's episode, get to the truth. What is true? What is really the model with EXP? And then you hear, what's the real model with Remax? What's the real model with Real? Like, get real. Get to the truth. What is true? And then from there, it's real simple, guys. We're talking business. It's just math. Just do the math. Once you know the model, just do the math, and what math works in your favor based upon your vision and what you're trying to accomplish. EXP's math might not work for you if your vision is not to sell very many homes or attract anybody. No, I just want to do 4 or 5 deals a year, just a little bit of pocket money to go play golf or do whatever. Cool. Understand the model, do the math, and keep the drama out of it, because that's what most agents do, man. They just bring drama into it, and it just clouds up the math.
Right.
Truth, educate yourself.
Yep.
Truth, do the math, keep the drama out of it, and make the best decision for yourself and your family based upon what your long-term objectives and goals are.
Simple, simple, simple. I love it.
Simple. Keep it simple. Cuz I know you've got an overcommitted schedule, so I really appreciate you jumping in here and man, really just dropping it. This was fantastic. 30 minutes of just 100% straight value add of education and understanding really what we have at our fingertips, what's out in front of us. And here's the deal, guys. The stock's trading at a discount. Like, if you have the opportunity to go stack up and get some more stock, go get some more stock. It is that simple.
Be a buyer. Yep.
Be a buyer.
Same.
Be a buyer. Cuz I appreciate you, man. Have fun. I can't wait to get the download from how the week goes with all of the leadership there at EXP Island. You guys have fun. Stay safe, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Right, later.
See you, bud. Bye.